to establishing the mount position, and then we're going to work some submission variations from there. The one we worked earlier in the week was pressure passing from somewhat of a half guard. Now we're going to work an option of stepping over with a side control. So making sure that I have a tight side control, blocking his hip. The other arm's on the inside of the hip here. So as I switch, this one stays under, and I want to come here. A good option is to grab the belt. Okay. So now I switch my hips and drive back. This leg stays on the outside only because of the use of this arm here. If he decides to drive in or explode, I have this as a base. If he keeps this tight, option I have is controlling the outside of the pant leg and driving the knees to the mat. Okay. The only thing with this is as you step over, establish your underhook. Okay. If not, he's going to use that hand to push and drive into half guard. Okay. So I switch and right away. Knees together, and as you step, this hand follows. And then work to get a nice high mount, or at least settle your mount position. So switch and turn. Pull the knees in and down. I'm also kind of scooting my hips back so I'm not loading him on top. Because at this point here, he can still bridge in, and I'm not going to have enough time to base. So I kind of scoot deeper into his armpit and step over. Got it? Very nice, pair up. So remember, in your transition, don't go here. Okay? Because my weight's this far, so he's either going to hide that arm or come up. Okay? And make sure that your hip is deep in the armpit. So regardless of how I turn here, if he's able to control my bottom leg, as soon as I step over, he's just going to hop and bump that leg into half guard. Okay. So head's always in front of the hips. Here. Okay. So even if he does try to explode in, he gets the underhook and turns in. It goes back to the position we worked last week, where we have our wrist locks, shoulder locks, and reverse arm bars. Okay. And staying low also makes it harder for him to hide that arm in the armpit. At this point here, I can scoot back and then shoot over. Okay, so we're all good there? Yes? So now for my favorite part. Yes, just the choke. So, these are options as far as the grips I like, and I'll explain why. A lot of times, you open up, and anytime we're taught this choke, it's super deep, knuckles to the mat. Okay, it's a good grip, but it opens up space here. So if he weaves his hand on the inside, essentially he's defending the choke. It also forces my weight forward. So if I'm heavy here, I'm not heavy on my hips. So if he bridges, I'm going to move more. Okay. So the grip I like is right above the collarbone and here. because that allows me to drive my elbow in, and now I'm heavy on top. So if he bridges, I have more control, as opposed to knuckles to the mat, where I'm forward, and every time he bridges, my body follows. Okay. So key to this position is once you establish this, the elbow comes back, and I offset my weight to the opposite side, because naturally they control here for the sweep. So if I'm here, it's the bridge up and over. Okay? But if I sit and kind of open and force my weight this way, go ahead and bridge. Nope, not as opposed to here, where I'm forced to base. Okay, so right out the collarbone, and then I open. So I'm sitting and kind of pinching here. Okay, everybody got it? So we get our grip, and even in this position here, if I get mounted and I pinch, whether it's controlling the head or getting the collar, every time he bridges, go ahead, it moves my weight. If I get here and I sit and I open my hips, bridge, bridge, it's like riding a bull. But if I commit and now I'm here, my body's gonna move and he does. Okay? So always get used to just kind of sitting and forcing. So when he bridges, I'm catching him mid-bridge. So we get that grip. And the reason I like to offset is because that elbow usually stays on the inside, and opening that knee helps my transition up. So we get our grip. I'm sliding, but I'm not going to S-mount. I'm sliding this up and I'm pinching here. So try and bridge. So I still have a good solid control because most of my weight's this way. Okay, so for the purpose of the choke, perfect world, we can get the thumb in. Okay, so we're gonna work thumb in, adjust, and then the knees are gonna go back and head to the mat. Okay, so between the first, second, and third knuckle, here, and elbow back. And I'm pinching. So I'm still centered, but a lot of my weight is this way, but pressure's still on the chest. Don't do this. Okay, so slide up and pinch. Thumb in and adjust. Now it's head to the mat and squeeze. Difference is, so let's say if I get the deep one, I go thumb in. How much more I have to apply the choke. With my grip here, just that adjustment and grip. So any questions? So start mount, open. Once you feed it, drop your elbow back here. So now I have a good base even if he decides to try and bridge that way. Go ahead. And then slide up. We got it?
Yes, sir.
But you see just the choke?
I do.
So another good reason for this type of grip is if I'm going here and everyone's seen this choke where you come across and do this, you can see my weight's really distributed this way. So if he bridges or he uses a hand to push my elbow or bridges in that transition, I'm having to use this hand to base. Okay. The good thing about this shallow grip is that it allows me to turn my elbow in and use my head as a base instead. So this is a good option if I'm going for the choke and he's blocking. Okay. Normally it's all the way around, and then you kind of do this dirty thing where you bring that across. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if they do block, I'm driving this elbow back out towards my hips and then driving my head to the mat here. Okay, so even if he tries to bridge, I still have a solid base. Okay. So elbow across and head to the mat. Okay, so now I use this just to clear the hand, and then now go back to the choke. So I'm here and he's using this to block. Here, to be able to use kind of my head this way. Okay? So this comes in and I use that elbow to clear. So once I get that grip, I'm just centering. Okay, so the only difference is now I can't get, and back to this, if I just grab here, there's all that slack. So you always want to go as deep as possible, because in that off chance that I start to go here and he bridges, I can still finish that choke. So he's blocking here. So this comes back so I can drop my weight. And I'm using the elbow to clear it and grabbing as close as I can here. And then now I'm just driving my head center. So my head goes from here to on top base. We got it?
Sure.
All right, let's try it out. Let's choke up.